How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. So a month or two ago, I put out a video called The Problem with Critical Role Campaign 3, in which we discussed the pacing problem that Campaign 3 had. Now, of course, about a month after the fact, this pacing problem is all but gone. So today we're going to be talking about how Critical Role Campaign 3 solved its pacing problem. As always, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you cast Divine Smite on that like button. Follow up with a bonus action healing word to the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that tiny bell so you never miss a video. Before we get into it, I just want to say that this video will contain spoilers for Campaign 3 all the way up to episode 35 we are at the time of recording, as well as some spoilers for Campaign 2 and potentially for Campaign 1, so consider yourselves warned. Now, before I get roasted in the comments section, I have to clarify that I am a massive fan of Critical Role. I love these guys. I've been watching for a very long time now, and I gotta say, Campaign 3, even though the beginning was insanely slow, is probably going to be my favorite of all of the Critical Role campaigns that they've ever done. Minus EXU Calamity, which is hands down the best content that Critical Role has ever made.
Don't even at me.
In my opinion, it has my absolute favorite party dynamic of all the parties. Rest in peace, Ladna. As well, the potential story that we've uncovered over the last 8 episodes, dealing with Ruidus and everyone's potential backstories and how things seem to be all interlinked, is absolutely fascinating. But the beginning of the campaign was not that smooth, as I think a lot of people would agree with me that there was a bit of a pacing problem. Now, some of these things that caused the pacing problem were stuff that was taken outside of the game itself. For example, the month-long break that they took off for EXU Calamity. While I'm extremely happy that they did this, as EXU Calamity is amazing, it really did make getting invested into Campaign 3 really hard. As well, before that, they took a few other weeks off in between. Seems like there was a lot of different weeks off, as I think relatively recently they started taking the last week off of every month, and it just really felt like it was hard for people to get invested in the beginning of Campaign 3. As far as story pacing goes, the first 26, 27 episodes of Campaign 3 felt extremely slow. For context, when you compare it to Campaign 2, the Mighty Nine by episode 27 had already claimed and commandeered the Luxem freaking beacon, met with the gentleman, as well everyone's favorite tiefling Mollymock had been brutally murdered. When you compare it to Campaign 3 by episode 26-27, Bell's Hells are just arriving in the city of Bassaras. Everything that they've dealt before in Drusar had to deal with Armand Treshy and the Nightmare King, which was interesting, but for a lot of people, it was just really slow and drawn out. It felt like at that point, all we really had was some nuggets for character backstory, but we really didn't know what the potential bigger story that was going to be told in Campaign 3 was. It didn't even feel like it was teased. Ultimately, now we know that it is what is going on with Ruidus, at least it sure seems like that, but back then, it really just felt like I had no idea where the campaign was going. Even with all that, the main saving grace for me was the intricacy of some of the character backstory, the things with Ashton, Imogen, FCG, stuff that at that point we had really only learned very little of. Now, all of this absolutely changed once we get to Bassaras and the introduction of Erika Ishii's character, and then the events that happen after that over episodes 27 to where we're at now in 35. It really bugged me because when I put out the problem with Campaign 3 video, when we talked about the problem of pacing, a week later, 2 weeks later, when Critical Role episodes came around, all of these events just started happening back to back to back. Episodes 28 to 35 really started to feel like must-watch shows. First, we had the introduction of Erika Ishii's character as a guest character and the crazy kind of reveal backstabbing as an antagonist, followed up by huge information with Fern and her parents, eventual tie-in of the Nightmare King, Imogen's backstory, FCG's backstory, all culminating in this huge fight against the Paragon's Call and Otahan Thule, more information on Imogen's backstory, and then ultimately the death of Laudna Marisha Ray's character. Oh yeah, and did I mention that in episode 35 we had the grand return of Keyleth, who is taking the party to Whitestone, where we might have an eventual return of Percy, Vex, Keyleth, all in the same room with our boys, the Bell's Hells. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it almost feels personal by just how much of a change up in pacing we've had over the last 7 episodes to everything that we had up until this point. So I think it's then safe to say that Campaign 3's problem of pacing has been officially solved. Now, obviously, things are probably going to cool down a bit. While the apogee solstice is 28 days away and it's really created the sense of tension, there's no way that we can continue having these crazy episodes back to back like that. Things are going to cool off for a little bit. It is D&D after all. That being said, the amount of information and everything that's really opened up over the last 7-8 episodes is just crazy. The level of investment from the fans feels like at an all-time high, as a bunch of people like me have become obsessed with trying to figure out just what the heck is going on with Ruidus, FCG, and all of our party members. Like I said in the original video, I think that Campaign 3 has the potential to be the best campaign of all of the Critical Role campaigns. I had faith that we were going to get there and this pacing problem was going to get fixed. I did not think that it was going to get fixed like this, Matthew. I mean, Jesus, it feels like whiplash from the last month and a half of watching Critical Role episodes. There's just been so many things bombarded into my brain, so much backstory, so much lore, so much emotion. I'm excited to see what happens with the rest of Campaign 3. I'm happy to see that the pacing problem seems to have been fixed. Now, there could be potentially some more problems on the rise, as we have no idea what the heck Keyleth's gonna do, and there could be a potential Deus Ex Machina type thing on the horizon, but I have faith that Matthew will navigate this very well. But who knows, guys, maybe we'll be seeing another problem with Campaign 3 video in the near future. Alright, this video turned into a bit of a rant. I just thought it was really funny how I released a video about the pacing problem, which I think a lot of people in the fan base could really relate to, as it really did feel like the beginning of Campaign 3 was so slow, only to just get smacked in the face by Matt Mercer and his absolutely insane storytelling over the last like 5-6 episodes. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. As always, guys, thank you for watching my video. I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Peace, love, Andu.